I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're going to start off with the recognition of visitors. We're going to go ahead and do the pride cards first.
All right, good evening. I'd like to thank the folks that did come out tonight and brave this weather to be recognized. It's something we really like to do, recognize our excellent students and their excellent behavior. So I'll get started here. Kendall Eichler in kindergarten. This is from Mrs. Radish. Kendall was so thoughtful and gave her snack to a friend who didn't have one. And I don't see Kendall here. Our next student is David Lindsay, and this is from Mrs. Lewis. David went around the world, around the whole room during the math fact game. Great job, David. That is an accomplishment, as I understand it, in first grade. Our next student, who is here, is part of an excellent Waterloo family.
We haven't got this one
Yeah.
yet. Never told that. Right? Told that.
And Mrs. Boyle is actually a teacher at Maplewood, so she's in an education game. But Julia, this is her daughter Julia, who's in second grade, and this is from Mrs. Lang, her teacher. Julia always uses good manners. She comes into our classroom quietly and politely each morning. At the end of the day, she packs up quietly and politely. Thank you, Julia. So come on up here, Julia.
Good job, Julie. Thanks for coming.
There you go.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
Then in third grade, we had Camille Williamson, and this is from Mrs. Bain. Camille is a thoughtful girl who always gives her best. She sees a job that needs done and does it. Thank you, Camille, for showing the Viking way. In fourth grade, we had Ashton Curtis from Mrs. Presbytery. Ashton is a great classmate and role model. When other students were not following the rules, Ashton made a good choice to do the right thing. And then finally, Morgan Schweitzer in fifth grade. From Mrs. Canale, Morgan noticed trash on the floor. She stopped and cleaned it all up. Thank you, Morgan. Excellent work. And thank you for coming this evening. Good job. I'm going to go ahead and read middle school. I don't think we have any middle schoolers here. Navar Al-Hassan from Mr. Flanagan. Navar helps MS basketball games with the scoreboard and clock. He is always prepared, cheerful, and ready to learn. So he's an excellent student. He's also a very good athlete. Natalie Roman, this is from Mrs. Huth, Mrs. Bonnie Huth. Natalie turned in $5 that she found on the floor by a set of lockers. Thank you, Natalie, for being a great, honest student. That is very honest. And then finally, Bryson Colbert, and this is from Loretta Huth. And this was helping with heavy tables. And, at the end of the day, when the custodians are down there, they have to, like, you've seen them doing that, folding up those big tables, and it takes some brute strength. And Bryson's a big man, strong guy. So Mrs. Huth really appreciated that. And then you have high school pride cards. You want to keep me?
Good
job.
This is your
Great
spot.
job.
Excellent. All right, this is Jimmy Phillips in ninth grade. This is from Mrs. Savada. Jimmy worked very well on a partner activity involving ionic compounds in physical science. He also explained the process to a student who had been absent the day of the activity and did a great job of doing so. Nice work, Jimmy. And then in 10th grade, we have Isaac Linton, and this is also from Mrs. Loretta Hoot. And this was unloading a pallet of paper. Thank you so much. So these young men are helping our custodians with some heavy lifting. That's very nice of them. And then we had Haley Fleming in 11th grade, and this is from Mrs. Sandell. Thanks for helping with the creation of the positivity poster. I think that's in the main office, isn't it?
If you walk right in the main office in the window, a couple of our girls from our pep club wanted to just create some positivity around the building. So we created this poster, and then any student can write on a Post-it note any positive comment that they want, and then they stick it on the poster. So it's just full of all these little positive comments.
And then finally, in 12th grade, Shane Diven, and this is from Mrs. Losi. Shane has been my student aide for this past semester. He always goes above and beyond what I asked him to do. He always helps to clean up after our zero waste days, empty extra bins, dump, rinse out compost containers, and he does it very willingly and thoroughly. Awesome job. Thank you tons.
Speaking of Shane, he just won his wrestling match.
There you go.
All right.
So he's a student
Come
athlete.
in here and did it for one.
He's got 3 more to go, I think. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, we have 3 visitors signed, Mr. Brannon, Baney, and Fegley. Is that correct? And you guys are all on the levy? Okay. We're going to leave it to a 2-minute. It might go a little over, it might not. And it's going to not be it's going to be an open-ended discussion. We'll take what you guys have to say. We'll talk in executive, and then March 15th, we have another levy meeting. Some of the stuff we might have discussed yesterday.
All right, now, the levy meetings, are they gonna be posted so people know? I understand you guys had a meeting last night,
That was more of a committee meeting.
all right?
Mhm.
Are these meetings gonna be open to the public? Because
Yes.
It seems like every time we turn around and you guys are putting the levy on, first time we hear mostly anything about it, is when we go to the ballot box.
Okay.
All of a sudden, surprise, there's a levy here.
I'd like for you,
That's not the way it used to be done out here, so.
before you leave, if you can put your name, number, email, anything that we can personally ourselves contact you. I or Mr. Brayman will definitely do that.
And our next meeting is March 15th, so keep that in mind, 6 o'clock right here.
Right here, okay.
All right, so everybody know.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Now, at that meeting though, we have any questions and answers period, or so people can, you know,
Sure.
we'd like to avail ourselves of whatever information is out.
That meeting, I don't want to interrupt, and you can correct me, will be, Todd's going to break it down to what was spent, what the money will be spent at, so you guys will know. It won't be, we've heard rumors that money wasn't spent where it was supposed to be, so he's going to break it down to the past levy, what was, what wasn't, how true we were to that levy, and what we're doing now with the new monies that we're asking for. So when you leave out of here, you should have an understanding of exactly what this levy's going to. What else?
That was a question I was gonna ask you, what's the money
Mhm.
levy on?
Yep.
My other question is, how much time we have left on the existing levy for the construction?
I think that's up in 2021, 2023. But I'll get the exact number. I'll have that for March
What was it,
15th.
20 year?
I think it was a 21, I think.
Okay.
I'll have that, I'll make a note of that and have that for the March 15th meeting.
And if you guys could just make sure you, I don't know, you may have signed in already, leave your number so we can get back a hold of you. Okay?
That was March 15th, what time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
What else? Yes, Mr. Huth.
I didn't sign in with paper when I walked in.
Oh, I took it.
After that meeting, here last night, my brother said you had a call list that came through, is that true? So everybody was on the email or the call list, you got a, oh, maybe that's what it, okay. I had a couple other questions on this here, talking about spending money. Well, I was at another sporting event and I was somebody brought up the thing that our girls' basketball team are not going into the tournaments because they violated the OSA, some kind of a rule. Is that true?
That
No,
is-
it's not true.
No?
No, they got that all figured out. They already entered the draw for the tournament.
We're still working that out. We've been, I know Mr. Devis has been, what he's talking about is this, when the girls went to California, it's the LeBron James rule, yes. I mean, that was a little different for St. B. They were traveling all over the country for every game. Well, we took off for the tournament, and we missed, I think a day and a half of school. We were in violation of that LeBron rule. So what we're doing, what Mr. DeVise is doing is appealing, he's going through an appeal process. He's talked to Dr. Dan Ross, who is the guy in charge of the OHSAA, and trying to work something out. The trip was like we talked about before, the trip was a raging success. The girls had a lot of positive things from it. The downside is that we may be out of the tournament, so we're trying to appeal that process. It's still working, and when I know for sure, I'll let the board know.
Second question was, when you do supplementary contracts as a school board, how many assistants do we have for each sport?
I just sent, I don't know the exact numbers, but I actually just sent Coach DeVise today because I heard another coach asking about, so
My question,
what is your,
the percentage that you start out at,
Mhm.
if you'd be the first year coach helping out, and then you have to go through all the criteria that you would have to stay alive, but
mhm.
do you start at the lowest percentage? But I see one here, never coached before.
So in the
Which-
negotiated agreement, Rick, there's different percentage amounts and different base amounts, depending on what sport it is. If you're a head coach, if you're an assistant coach, if you're a class advisor versus other supplemental positions.
Okay,
So
the one year is the high school basketball. Do we pay two head coach and assistant coach?
one's I believe, I'd have to look at the contract, to see how, the contract spells out how many coaches are eligible for each sport. So each sport doesn't have the same number of coaches.
Okay, basketball, we have 5 or 6 guys sitting on the bench. We pay 2 of them.
I'd have to go back and look at the contract.
That's the thing I think these gentlemen here were talking about. Where is our money going when you come to anything in the school you see, you guys don't do this for nothing. Well, I think they do.
I know for the
Some of
boys,
them are
the boys,
volunteers.
either they do a couple things. They either split the contracts
Different ways.
different ways, or they have a number of volunteers. Guys weren't getting paid at all.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm almost positive we have a high school varsity basketball coach, boys and girls, another one, a JV basketball coach, boys and girls, and then we have one at 7th grade and one at 8th grade for each.
I know for a fact basketball, middle school on to high school, there's 5. Wrestling, there's 2.
So there might be an assistant, the 5th one may be an assistant varsity coach
Baseball, there's 2.
in there.
And,
So-
and some of those that are at the game, they could be, I don't know, because they could be coaches down in the lower ranks that just come up and sit for the high school
And
game.
a lot of them are volunteers, which is interesting to know. My son volunteers for baseball, and it's kind of interesting. It's one of those things I've sat here and watched this and approved volunteers, but until he was doing it, I didn't realize that there's a significant outlay of cash to meet the state's requirement. Not significant, probably close to over $100 to be able to volunteer your time to meet the requirements of the state. So I know a lot of the guys on the basketball bench are
But doesn't the contract, you would start at the lowest rate, which would be your first line, like, here's somebody, I see one here is 8%, and the person never.
Well, in the contract, that would be the lowest amount. I mean, it varies from sport to sport and organization. That has been set in the contract for whatever percentage you would receive as a first year person. So if it says 8%, that is the lowest amount listed in the contract. And Brian is right about that. We do have a number of volunteers, and it's I want to make sure everyone understands that you guys understand that we do insist that they get fingerprinted, they fill out the coaching paperwork through the state, and it does it. And
Background check.
Background checks and that. So they have to go through the same hoops that a paid coach of ours would go through, but we want to make sure that without any past or without any red flags or any snags that might endanger our students. So we're very careful about that. We make them jump through the same hoops that a paid coach would go through.
That I have. Back to the levy.
Well, no, you have a website, so we're at a computer illiterate, but does it contain a list of all the personnel connected with the Waterloo school system?
That teach and are in the school system?
That anyone who draws money comes from the school system?
I don't know if the website alone does, but it's public record for anybody to call or find any kind of school, where the money and what, I mean, it's public record. You can call Todd and sit with him and he would explain it.
Well, I'd just like to know the number of personnel we have associated with Waterloo school.
Sure. I mean, we do have staff lists on our website. I don't want to say it's, there might be the one or two random persons on it, but I'm pretty sure, which doesn't mean anything really, but I'm pretty sure that we have everyone listed on the website.
Yeah, I don't think there's one spot that says this is a staff list, but if you go to the
If you go to the
elementary
high
school,
the middle
it'll be
school,
all there, the high
elementary,
school will be there.
They're all
listed?
Yeah.
And you're just wanting to know on pay, who's on pay?
Well,
Because we can get this information for
yeah,
the 15th.
I'd like to know that. I'd like to know where the money's going from, these levies that you guys have.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
I think that, I don't know if Mr. Bain, and I'm sorry I missed the other two gentlemen's name, but if you guys, the girls' basketball trip that was mentioned, they took a trip to California during Christmas break, missed a day of school, and I just want to say that was completely funded outside of the school. We didn't put spend any school funds on that trip. That's something that they fundraised for over a year to be able to get the funds to be able to pay for that trip to go. So it wasn't.
I understand.
Okay.
I just like to know how many personnel we have.
Okay. You can find that on our website. Okay?
Anything else?
You were just $10 about the $100 bills.
If I had it, I wouldn't share it. And I probably wouldn't be sitting right here. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. And we'll get the meeting together. Roll call.
Busatera?
Here.
Brock?
Here.
Fletcher?
Here.
Whittlesey?
Here.
Gum.
Here.
Can I have a motion to accept February 9th regular meeting?
I'll second.
All right. President's report. No? Oh, that's me, shit. It's been a long day. I actually don't have anything. Mr. Huth threw me off coming in here. I don't have anything today. And then the superintendent's report.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, do we need to do an levy update? I feel like we just did one.
I have just a couple things very quick. One, I want to talk about the wellness policy. That's something I thought it was worth mentioning. Barb Rock, our food person in charge of our foods, has done an excellent job of organizing a group to go through that process to update the policy. We'll be putting that forward soon. There aren't really any massive changes. I think she really, I've been in a couple different places, she does a very nice job of making the cafeteria experience pretty good for our kids. They're doing very well. More so with the K through 8 in the high school, but she does a nice job of getting things going, drumming up interest for our students, and we appreciate that. And I'll give you more about the policy very soon. Okay. Just one other thing. I know we talked a little bit about the levy. We are going to meet on March 15th at 6 o'clock right here. That'll be a time for we'll be breaking down some of the nuts and bolts of why we need this levy and how much and all the pieces and parts of it. We're also going to talk about different committees and trying to inform the community and let everybody know when our next meetings are and get the signs out there and do those things to try to keep our community informed as to why we need this levy. So We are asking for 8.25 mils. That is based on the tax value of a $100,000 home. That's gonna be about $24, around $24 per month. So keep that in mind, and we'll give more details to that on March 15th. We did have a meeting last night, an informational meeting, just to talk about, what we did in the fall, what we want to keep doing again for the preparation for May. We talked about things that we needed to include next time around. And it was pretty passionate. I mean, we had about 20 people, maybe 30 people, and people were very passionate, and it was a good night to really kind of set the tone for what's coming this springtime. I'm a very positive person. You guys know me, and I'm very upbeat, and I feel that this is what's best for our kids, and I have no problem saying that. And I want to get this done to maintain what we have on our programming for our kids for the next few years. So more of that on March 15th. Okay, thank you.
Treasurer's report.
Nothing for tonight.
Now the principal's update. Who I thought was standing, I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh, that was funny. Sorry, thank you. We needed that comic relief today.
I'm here for you.
You always got it, right? Just a couple of quick things. Our midterms went very well since the last time we spoke. Kids did well. The coming and going, I always worry a little bit about that, but they just handle it perfectly. So that went, it was very successful. Our ACT review is going well. Additionally, we have all of our juniors are now receiving our ACT website review. I will show that to you if you'd like to see it. I don't want to do it tonight necessarily. I mean, I can do it after the meeting just to show you what they can see, how easy it is to log in, and that all of our juniors during their AO on Tuesdays are logging into this website and using this ACT review. It's kind of not optional for the juniors. It's optional for all other students, so every other student in the high school also has that ACT review available to them through our website, but it's for them to use as they need to. Some 9th graders, some 10th graders are already taking the ACT, so it's really good for them to have it. There are still seniors that are taking it as well, but for our juniors who will take it on March 21st here at the school, and that score will now be reported on our report card, we're making it mandatory that they go through that online review with us.
And these are practice tests?
They're all practice tests provided, yes, to us through ACT. So it's really nice, and it's computer-based. Even though the ACT is still written, it gives them also that practice that the air tests, the end of course exams that they have to take, are all computer-based. So although they're reviewing for the ACT, they're getting all those computer skills in that review for our end of course exams that they have to take in April. So it's kind of dual purpose. So that's working out very well, and they're working hard because I can log in and see all of the time that they're spending on it. So I can see so-and-so has spent 3 hours and 23 minutes on that review already. So they're using it, and hopefully it will have some impact. We just had another blood drive that went very well. Those are always so successful, or it's fun to see our kids, especially those who are giving blood for the first time. But it really helps us with scholarships at the end of the year. We accumulate enough units of blood to then be paid scholarships through the Red Cross. So it's a nice community service, but it also provides some of our students with some scholarship money.
You're doing that again one more time, right?
One more time this year. I don't know that if you've heard, I'm sure you've heard because I've heard, I held a meeting regarding prom and appropriate dress for prom. So I've gotten a little bit of backlash from that, but that's okay. I expected that. I just wanted to set some guidelines for our young men and ladies who are attending our prom. So hopefully that will all go swimmingly here in May. I was invited to go to NASA Glenn Research Center, and unfortunately I wasn't able to go the day that was set up for us. But oddly enough, the lady that works at NASA Glenn out behind Cleveland Hopkins lives right here on Everly Road. So after she saw my email that said, I'm sorry I can't make it, she saw the district and she said, well, how about if I come to you? Because I'm literally 2 minutes from your high school. So I met with her last week. Actually, it really worked out that I didn't end up going there and she ended up coming to me because now we're doing some things personally with Waterloo versus in a big setting had I just gone to NASA. So she's in contact with me, and we are going to look at some STEM opportunities for our students through NASA. And one of our teachers, we can send our teachers there. They will come away with project-based lessons for here at school. They can also connect through our computers to some of the scientists at NASA, so they'll be able to actually do some of the projects then with the scientists there that helped create the projects. So we're looking at moving forward with that. And then this week is Spirit Week. So if you get a minute before you leave, if the halls aren't all still blocked off because of our tournament, take a look around. You can see, at least in the cafeteria, our Dr. Seuss theme, and the kids have been dressing up all week with different things, and tomorrow are our spirit games. So in very Waterloo tradition, we are moving forward with our spirit games, and hopefully that'll all come to a head tomorrow. We'll see who wins the stick.
Yeah.
Any questions? Have a good day. Thank you.
Do we have a middle school one, or is?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it?
Over it. There wasn't a lot on his list. He wanted everyone to know that the middle school basketball teams have tournaments this weekend. The girls are at Crestwood and the boys are at Ritztown. And then he also wanted me to discuss, the teachers are working on a test prep program. It's online assessments, so to prepare us for the air test coming up. It's called MobiMax. It's something I've heard a lot about at principals' meetings. You could probably speak to Mrs. Warren now. But it's something that teachers, if I'm correct, they're gonna set up like accounts, right?
Yeah, we haven't got to do anything with it yet. We just had a meeting the
Set
other
up.
day for it, and he set up accounts for all the students,
Okay.
and we haven't had a chance to do like anything with it yet, so I can't tell you.
What's that called again?
MobiMax.
Moby.
It is very popular. There's a lot of schools using it right now. So just another way to prepare our students for the online test environment. It can be kind of challenging. So a good way to get in computer labs and work on that. So that was all Mr. Walker had. I don't have a long list in the elementary. We had the 100th day yesterday, which is a mega day for kindergartners. And it is cool because it's an opportunity that the teachers, the kindergarten teachers go, they really go out of their way. I know Mrs. Klingon-Smith had like a spy thing that the kids had been working on to solve who took something out of their room. And it's an opportunity for a lot of parents to come into the school and spend the day. So it's nice for our community to get in and see what they've been doing in the kindergarten classrooms. Today was an exciting day. We went to Ritztown. I was there for about an hour in a teacher's room. Her name is Mogar. I think she was a Waterloo employee, I think, about 2 or 3 administrations ago.
Mogar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brenda Mogar?
Brenda, yeah.
Yeah. And Pam Merck still keeps in contact with her. So we've been setting up these peer observations in the elementary, and Pam, we were analyzing some test data, and we've been noticing that Ritztown would beat us in a couple categories, so we wanted to see what they were doing. And their principal, Jeff Turner, highly recommended checking out Mrs. Mogart. So Michelle Beesall and Nicole and myself were in her classroom this morning, and it was really good. It was good to see, some of the same things we do, they're doing, and it was good to take some of the different strategies they use and bring them back to Waterloo. So we had our 3rd grade teachers split the day. We had ELA go in the morning and then math in the afternoon. Bob Hamilton went this morning for math and science. He wanted to see what they were doing in math because their scores. I think we were almost tied with them for science scores because we had really good science scores this year. So everyone had a really good day with it, and then we can have discussions. We have our department chair meetings, where we have, our next topic, culture. I think it's culture. So we're gonna talk about culture, but we're also gonna talk about the experience going to Rootstown. We have our kindergarten staff going next week, and then some special ed staff. It's just good though, because they're very similar to us. Like their classroom makeups are almost same number wise, and their special ed staff and support staff mirrors us almost identically, and also their technologies are very similar. So it's nice to get out and see how other people utilize their resources, and then come back and have, you know, the professional dialogue about how we can adjust. So I think it's been a great opportunity. Wanted to thank Mr. Brayman for letting us do that, and get people out of the building, and just, you know, I think for our teachers, they're locked in their classrooms. Some have been here for decades, and they're very focused. They do a very good job, but I think it's good for them. It's healthy for them to get out and discuss their craft with others, and just kind of compare and contrast what they're doing. I think it's been very helpful. Are there any questions about that? Thank you very much.
Maplewood? I don't have anything to report tonight. You don't have anything on?
No, I do.
Legislative?
I do. Just one thing.
All right, go for it.
So the new General Assembly just started back up in Columbus, and there's a bunch of bills up on the bill tracker that you guys can all get to on the OSBA website. But two that stood out, there's a Senate bill and a House bill that are almost identical in language, where they're talking about potentially requiring the Ohio School Facilities Commission to establish a program that assists school districts with purchasing technology and making improvements in technology infrastructure for schools and their safety and security. So that might be something that would benefit our school district as well as all the other ones in Ohio. So just something small. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything on that? Brian? Nothing? New business. I don't have any new business. I did want to put out the, and I don't know if anybody has, but what's the athlete boosters reverse raffle date? March 18th. March 18th is the reverse raffle for the athletic boosters, if anybody's interested. They're selling their tickets for that right now. That's all I have on that.
Yeah, do you know where we can get them?
I can get them if you let me know. I have an abundance of them that I'm not going to sell because I don't know 20 people that'll go. So if you want them, I'll give them to you. It's the same place, same. Yep. They're $50 a piece or $25 if you don't want to go.
Is it, one ticket per couple or?
One ticket a person. Okay. Consent agenda. Can I try a motion to the consent agenda?
I'll move.
I'll second.
I have nothing going on except for one thing. On A, I just wanted to recommend to approve the list of graduating students in class 17. It's going to be a great class, and I'll be the first one to congratulate them for graduating. It's a little early still, but
Caps and gowns come in March,
so it's coming.
right around the corner.
Yeah, once the caps and gowns are in, then it's time. But I just want to congratulate the next class coming. So with that, that's all I had.
Treasures?
I don't have anything. Did you want to touch base on the calendar?
Yeah, I do. If I can just point out, part of what we have to do is point out the different calendars. Mrs. Dean, Mrs. Green, and I have talked about this a few times. What I'll do is, we're certainly, we'll keep these copies. The difference between one from the next is in the corner of each calendar. On the first page, we would have a comp day for Thanksgiving would be, I'm sorry, right around Thanksgiving, we would have the Wednesday and Monday off as a district. On B, Thanksgiving, the Monday after Thanksgiving would be off, I'm sorry, and the Monday after Easter would be off. And then on C, the Monday after Thanksgiving and December 20th would be off. Now, we still have the same starting date. We still are paying attention to the fair, and we're gonna start school after that as well. The days come out to be the same. Really very little difference from one calendar to the next, to be honest with you. So we wanted to point out those fine couple days of vacation. Other than that, there's nothing different from one to the next.
Has there any decisions been made on which one?
It has not been made. What we have to do is just make sure that I believe, we did this last year, that we have to make sure that we offer these three out publicly if there's any discussion on it. And then if you're okay with it, we don't have a consent on this, though, do we?
Cool. Yeah, just open for public discussion if
Okay,
anybody.
just to make public notice of it, and then I'll submit it back to Mrs. Dean for voting.
And you throw this already towards the teachers and the staff,
They are aware of it, yes.
that's where I get my feedback from, is them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are everything.
And
I
then,
think that's it, right?
yeah. Now, in executive session, we're not coming out with any,
Concern the calendar? No.
mm-mm.
No, all I do is take
No,
it back to
period.
Mrs.
We're not
Dean and
coming-
say, we're good with these three, and they vote on one particular calendar.
Excuse me, I don't know how your criteria is set up here, if I'm out of order, just tell me shut up. Is the general public allowed to comment any on this, like the calendar, like the adjustments on the school calendar? I noticed there's several schools, districts, and that they're talking about going back to the way it used to be when we never started school, right after Labor Day. This would save heating costs, air conditioning costs, and so forth.
That's a good question. Yes, you can comment on any part of it. We do have to, we definitely take that into consideration. At any public meeting, you can comment on anything we're doing as a district, of course. Okay. Well, we do have to follow, it used to be we had to follow so many days. Now it has become hours, and we do have to, contractually, we don't have to all be in agreement with the calendar, how it ends up. But anything you would point out, you're certainly more than welcome to do that. Okay? Yes, sir.
I would like to mention that the state government is actually looking at implementing it to where it starts after Labor Day
Yeah.
again as well. So that's something that they're looking at on a whole statewide basis at the moment, actually. So just to
I'd also
let
like
you
to
know.
point out the reason that we push things back, why things have evolved prior to Labor Day, is because of our state mandated testing, which they continue to push closer and closer. So, we used to state mandate testing at the end of April, beginning of May, and now we're looking into March. And so a lot of schools back up their calendars so that we have more instructional time. Because if we wait until after Labor Day, we lose about 2.5 weeks of instructional time before those tests hit us in early March.
And they test you on the whole year,
Even though we haven't completed instruction. So a lot of the adjustments have been made because of the mandated testing that the state says we have to do. So that, it just gives you a little bit of explanation as to why it was pushed back.
And if it doesn't make sense, the government's involved.
We're here to help.
We're kind of in an odd situation too, though, because we can't really start before the fair ends. So we start Tuesday. You- Yeah, that's a mess, yeah. But we start the Tuesday after the fair, so we really only get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then, so we get a 4-day week, and then that following Monday's Labor Day, and we get another 4 weeks. So we're only starting 4 days before Labor Day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you definitely get, with all these different pieces and parts, it kind of forms, this is your school year, what you end up with when we're trying to satisfy the government, We wanna make sure we take care of the fair, we have to make sure our kids are ready as much time as possible. That, you know, notwithstanding for our state related tests, and that becomes your school year. So there's very little, and you can see there's very little difference from one calendar to the next. It's a day or two difference.
Maybe they're gonna start delaying some of this state testing.
I hope so.
So do I.
Yeah. But do I think they will? I don't know. We hear different, you know what, we hear different things every year. I mean, the last few years have been pretty tough.
Well, coming down from the federal government, they've allowed schools to reduce some of their testing, but the state of Ohio is taking the stance that they want to go over and above what's required, so. Don't know where that's gonna end up yet.
We hope. We hope it lessens.
Anything else?
Before we vote on the consent agenda, I just wanted to mention that, look, we're approving 2 Waterloo alumni, recent alumni for supplemental positions. That's always nice to see. And then also, William Huber down there, I believe, is Rawhide's son, who was my bus driver when I was 1,000 years ago. And he's the guy that helped build the football stadium. And he was just, I don't know if anybody met Rawhide, but there wasn't a better person in the whole universe than Rawhide.
Bill was actually a teacher at one time.
Bill taught here? Yeah.
When he got out of college, but there was no money in teaching, so he went into the
Boat business.
boat.
Oh, I was going to
He's a
ask if
great,
that
but
was the Huber.
Bill's a fabulous guy too, so it's nice to see him coming back in the district, and it's great, it's good to see, so.
Anything else?
Nope, thanks.
Can we get a roll call?
Okay, Gump,
Yes.
Whittlesey,
Yes.
Fletcher,
Yes.
Busateri,
Yes.
Brock.
Yes. And then can I have a motion to go into executive session? Yes, ma'am. Us, okay. And then that adjourns our meeting. We're not going to have anything come out of our executive session for the public. But before you three leave, I want your phone numbers. And if you have an email.
Are you gonna tell him to tell his friends that they don't know that roll call that he does? That would be so.
Now, we're gonna do an all call too, so anytime we have anything on the levy, you're automatically gonna get a call. So if you know people too that wanna be put on that, I mean, they can,
You know, if I can make a suggestion, we have this public information sign right up here at the square, right there, you know, by.
and we will, you know, and
It's
we,
Lindsay's restaurant.
yeah.
Okay. JC's or
And
Lions
we-
Club, someone takes care of that sign, but you could post
Yep.
your sign, you know, your information on
We've
there.
done that
That's a
before.
good idea.
And we did
We've done that.
we did put it on our, on our signs too.
Yeah,
Yeah, water
that's
one,
huge.
you know, because half of us don't get down there. I'm gonna put my name.
I'm already on that call.
I have your wife on Facebook. Don't think I'm not gonna send her a message.
How you been?
No. Stay hidden.
Yes, that's a good thing to do, that's best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wanna walk home? It depends on your vote.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
And if you guys have
Nice to
any
meet you. Thank you for coming
questions that you're
tonight.
thinking of that you want to know come that meeting, I mean, you can, my phone number is on the website. You can call me
That's
with
all
it.
lowercase, I just.
Okay.
This amount of money comes off too.
I'll email you
Well,
the,
you gotta, you know, you have to.
So what is the website?
it's the Waterloo. I just looked Google Waterloo, but I'll get it for you.
That's easier that way.
That's the way I did it, and then I favorited it, so I never have
I'm
to
like,
go back.
I just Google Waterloo High School and it comes up, but I will get it, the website. It's Vikings or Viking
You go
OS.
over to Billy Price's, don't you? When you're working, I
Dot
gotta go over there and
Portage.
visit him one of these days.
Yeah, I could have stopped down there probably once a week at least.
Yeah.
Dot K-12,
K-12?
yep, K-12, dot
Garage door down.
O-H,
It's a long way.
dot U-S. And then my contact, if you go under, I think it's, I'll tell you exactly how to go to it.
I hope.
When you open the website, it's gonna look like this,
Okay.
and then all you gotta go is,
Information, I think up there.
Yeah.
If you hit information, it'll
You get a lot
Yeah.
drop down.
go to the information tab, and then it puts the administration, or we can do the board of, oops.
Well, Jeff is my cousin.
Oh, okay.
The one over in North Benton. My
And
brother's
then it
out there at
pops
Port
up our
Clinton.
phone numbers.
He does fish, more fish.
And then our emails are in there too, you can get the emails, but if you,
I don't have a computer. I ended up at the library.
no, you can call, I mean, you can even call, but if you have questions that you can think of prior to that, that way we can definitely get answers, and so, that's kind of what,
Anytime you have questions, you're more than welcome to call Board of Education.
Yep.
Sean welcomes any questions or, you know, one of our biggest battle is getting the correct information out without it being, you know, embellished.
Right.
And I mean, there was things that we heard from the last levy that we were building the stadium with that money. And that everybody was getting these huge raises and we were doing, and I'm like, where does it come from? So, you
You know,
know,
when you're,
out there.
you got the building levy still on, and you're asking people for another $280 a year.
My
Yeah.
Uncle Joe, so my dad's brother,
There's a lot of people out here retired.
His
I'm
wife,
retired, Dave's retired,
Faye,
both retired.
and
I mean,
Kathy Aldrich,
You know how to
sister.
retire